Well, hello there. Hello. I would say good morning, but it's actually afternoon technically. It's 11:20 here in beautiful Dalzad Oaks. And I just thought I would sit down here and do some more drawing. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the fun sketching time. To explain this once again, it's a forum for me to draw and to talk about drawing as an artist and to talk about how I approach doing things sometimes. For those of you who are either young artists who are learning and getting, improving yourselves, or maybe even your professionals who just want to get another person's perspective on something, that's what I do. My name is Leonard Robinson. People call me Big Daddy. I don't know why they do that, but it's kind of stuck. So my channel is 51LODB on YouTube. So if you look me up, that's how you'll find me. 51LODB. All right. So then I will we'll just jump in here. So um, as I have said on some of these previous things, I don't always have a something in mind when I want to draw. But one of the things that I have discovered is that sometimes if I'm scribbling or creating, I just like to start to put lines on the paper just to start to kind of get some kind of an idea of what it is I think I would like to draw. I don't always have an idea. I've mentioned before that um, as an artist, I think it's always a good idea for artists to draw things that they like because I think you learn a lot. Um, you improve yourself as an artist when there's a passionate connection between you and the things that you're creating. If you like to draw cars, you draw cars. You like to draw monsters, you draw monsters. You like to draw girls like I do, you draw girls. And what that does, or what it can do for you, is it can improve. It can help you to improve yourself as an artist. So what ends up happening is You end up learning more about being an artist from all the things that you're trying to do to make the work that you're doing better. Like when I first started to learn anatomy, because I like drawing girls, I figured, well, the thing that I didn't understand about anatomy was where the bones went and the muscles and all that kind of stuff. But I knew that if I draw true girls, because I like looking at girls and what normal heterosexual man doesn't, then I would say, well, okay, in order to make the girl look convincing, like she's supposed to look, then that means that I would need to understand something about anatomy, right? And that's good. So that gave me a reason to learn about the bones and the muscles and all that kind of wonderful stuff, because then that put me in a position of having the necessity of getting it accurate, and because that's what I wanted. I figured, well, if I'm going to do it, I would prefer doing it correctly. And so there were things that were easier for me to learn about anatomy because I was drawing women or a woman than I was drawing a man. Just the sheer interest in making the female character look convincing and look real or look accurate was what I was after. So just that by itself, just the sheer you know uh, what's the word, participation that I would put into uh, drawing, because I'm drawing a female character, made me, or inspired me. Maybe that's the better word to use, to draw it more accurately. And so that was good. And then I'd go to the anatomy books, and I'd learn, oh, this particular muscle, that particular muscle, or this particular bone is here, and oh, that's what makes the neck look the way it looks, or so on and so forth. Now, I will honestly tell you, I there's a lot of this when I first started to learn this stuff about anatomy. I did learn names of things. It always was kind of a little bit of a there were certain bones and muscles that I would learn, and I just I couldn't always remember their names and everything. But I learned them because I was interested, like I said, in getting it accurate. What I ended up finally doing, though, was I realized that even if I didn't know, say, the name of a muscle or the name of a particular bone or whatever, I knew how it affected the body. I knew where it was, and I knew how to draw it. So I knew that if certain things had to fit a certain way in order for the figure to look right. That's what I mean. So really, as an artist, you're learning to draw things in a way that's convincing, that looks right. So that, and really, I think a big part of it is, in my opinion, so that you can caricature it, so that you can um, take advantage and do things with it that may be a little more fantastic. You know, if you're trying to create, say, like a superhero character or something, um, then you'd have to know something about the anatomy in order to get it right, right? So you'd have to know. So when you draw something, then you got to make sure that you're putting everything where it's supposed to go. See, so that was the thing that I liked about it. And then I would get, like I said, I would get um, I'd get the drawing working a certain way, and then I would know automatically, like, oh, okay, well then I need to draw this particular, you know, group of muscles are going to be here, or they'd have to be in order for just the different parts of the body to fit together properly. So after a while, like I say, you get a sense of where things are supposed to go, and then that helps you to get it more accurate. So that's what I really that was the thing that was important to me. Was getting things in the right place so that you know it looked correct. It looked somewhat accurate, and I could say, okay, well that looks kind of right. And it's like that is where the how the neck would be here, and this is where the muscle would be in this leg or whatever. So yeah, and then that way, then when you do try to do things where you are maybe say doing something that's a little more fantastic or a little different or whatever, it doesn't look odd. You know, it looks like you're actually putting things where they're supposed to go. Because as artists, I think we shouldn't. I don't think we always want to just be copying everything. I think there's a point where you kind of want to invent. I would think. And how are you going to accurately invent something? You know, if you don't understand its structure. You know, when you understand the structure, then you can invent whatever you like. You know, and you can be more accurate in your getting your invention correct. Um, so so there you go. So I tell students when I'm teaching drawing classes or character, I tell them to draw the things or practice on the things that they like to draw, because then they're going to have more of a connection with what they're doing, and they're going to have more of a love of what they're doing. So it's going to show up in the work. It always shows up when there's something that you like. Chances are you're going to do a better job. It's almost kind of an automatic thing. You don't have to try to talk yourself into it. Now there are going to be some things that you're going to have to discipline yourself to draw, or to study to get it accurate, and that's just normal. That's just normal. But the things that at least you can get a start. So like I would say that the good thing is that you want to get a start on what you're doing, so that you can you're not fighting all the time trying to get something to work, and you're just fighting your page and fighting if it's something that you like, then you're probably going to you might even actually put in a little more effort to get it right just because you like it. If you like drawing cars, for instance, um, you're going to put more effort into getting it to look like a particular type of car that you like. You know, and technical things, to be honest, I find to be very tricky and difficult to draw. Um, So I would think, somebody, for instance, who really likes that kind of stuff probably would be better at it than what I would be. I would think. And that's good because then, it's good for people who are specialists at certain things, So that makes a lot of sense. If you say you want a certain type of thing drawn, you would go to somebody who specializes in that particular thing. So it just makes absolute common sense to find someone who's, already has a certain affinity for, you know, drawing or creating a certain type of thing that you want. It just that simplifies the whole process. Lord knows we want simplification, I would think. So, I can't get that to turn. It doesn't want to turn. Hmm. Oh, I see. Wait a minute. I had the shift key down. That's why. All right, let's see. Maybe bring this down to here. All right, yeah. And then I'll have, whoops, need the line. There you go. Let's see, oops. Gotta get that right. My breasts are already there. So you got that. Also, too, go to the museums too. Go to the museums and look at what some of the great artists do. I tell you that I get a lot of inspiration when I go to the museums, and I don't go a lot. So I'm kind of talking to myself here, but it's a good idea because it's good to remind yourself of the people who you're inspired by. That they've done they've done the footwork, the hard work ahead, and you kind of look and learn from them. If I'm looking at, say, a Michelangelo or a Rembrandt or whatever, I am going to be inspired by what they've done. So, so that works out to be a great thing. Um, and a lot of times too, there is an inspiration that comes with looking at some art that has been done, say, hundreds of years ago. You get there's things that you get from it just because it was done a long time ago. You know, let's see. This is the thing I really love about digital art. Golly, that you can just, like, see here, I feel like I've made her too big here. So all I got to do is grab her and make her a little smaller. Push her back a little bit. Yeah, see that maybe. Yeah. Gosh, I love that. It's these kinds of things that just, boy, it just makes your life so good. And you young folks are just so privileged today. You have these wonderful tools that you can use. It just makes the whole process of being an artist so much easier. I mean, just a little change like that, I would have had to erase, and I would have had to, um, go to the Xerox machine or something and Xerox the image and maybe bring it down, and then I'd have to look at it to see if that looked like that was the right size, and I can do all that right here, you know. Or I could change her face, like I'm not crazy about that face. It seems like she's could have been thinking about something a little different here. So see something like this. I just go right in here and change her face. So let's see, maybe she has kind of a careworn expression on her face there, sort of like she's got something on her mind. Let's see. Let's see. Change the eyebrows. So maybe maybe she looks a little. Yeah, she looks a little careworn here, doesn't she? Yeah, she looks like she's got some issues. Something's up. Let's see. She's looking skyward. Let's see. Okay. All right, let's bring it back out. Well, let's see. Maybe do that. So it's not like a hopeless thing. It's more of a, I don't know. So let's see. Let's go from there. Interesting. All right. Okay. All right. Well, we'll stop there. So that's some more fun drawing for today. So, hey, I hope you have a great day, folks. Carry on. Keep drawing. Keep your sketchbook. Take your sketchbook with you. Get the most out of your day, and develop yourself as an artist. Keep drawing. Keep learning. The more you do this, the better you're going to be at it. All right, have a great day. Once again, I'll see you tomorrow. And as I always say, remember, Jesus is Lord. And make sure you get your ticket so when you go to the right place. Right? Right.